Marshall County will defend the scoreboard as we get this one set to get underway. A big crowd on hand. Marshall County, Caldwell County. Back up to you guys.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. So Marshall County wins the toss. He elects to defer until the second half. Get a final pregame comment from Coach Larry Krause. Talk about these two ball teams.
Well, Jeff, there's probably going to be two things to really watch tonight. First off, I want to echo anything that everyone heard about the strong and weak points. Strong point, Marshall County line. I feel like that Caldwell County will not be able to move the ball down the field. I can't really believe that Pat Gates would have a game plan where he's going to decide, try to run and keep the ball out of Marshall's hands and drive 8, 10, 12 plays and score. They're not going to do that on Marshall County. He's got to have seen where Mayfield threw the screen passes, the quick outs, he's going to try to get his back into the flat, and he's going to get the ball in Jared Fuqua's hands somewhere out.
Brock.
Jeff, they've used that as a weapon. That's no longer something. I think Coach Sheldon and them have just decided that they cannot kick the ball into the end zone. You've got people like Fuqua back here that can run the ball back. You did it last week, 90 yards to break your back. Don't kick it to them. Take that weapon out of their hand. And they do the same thing when they're punting.
1st and 10 for Caldwell County. They send Wyatt wide to the right. A pair of setbacks. Receiver wide to the left. That is Kelly Davis. Childress turns and gives it to the fullback, David Fawn. He's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, squirts ahead for a yard. Tried to come off left tackle. He's taken down by Teckenbrock. It'll be second, and they give him 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Offensively, about the most consistent thing you're going to see is a fullback. You're going to see Jason Baum behind the quarterback. Very seldom, I won't say 100%, are you going to see him anywhere but right behind the quarterback. And so, again, I'll set the rest of it to where the running backs are.
Receiver to the left side, pair of setbacks. Childress with the long snap count, 2nd and 8 for Caldwell County. Play action fake, and he turned and gave it to Fuqua, and Fuqua is wrapped up for a loss back at the 18-yard line, and again, it's Wes Teckenbrock with a nice defensive play. That's a loss of about 2.5 yards. It'll be 3rd and long for Caldwell. Third, the scoreboard says 11. We played 1 minute, no score.
Okay, again, fullback will be set behind the quarterback 99% of the time. Fuqua at the running back sometimes will line up straight behind him in an I formation. Sometimes he'll be to the weak side, and sometimes he'll actually come over to the strong side, which is what he's in now. He's on the side where the tight end is.
Davis wide to the left. They have Wyatt wide to the right. Pair of setbacks. Childress may go to the air on 3rd and long. Play action fake. Rolls out to his right. Marshall County's got great coverage. Childress eludes one tackler, throws it downfield. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation for Caldwell County.
Well, it's a good thing Kelly Davis, the end for Caldwell on the far side, had come across and was underneath about 12 yards and was wide open. That was a rollout. That time, again, they pull back behind him. They set the halfback, which is Fuqua, to the right. They tried to drive off the wide receivers and run him out into the flat. Marshall County covered it extremely well, and unfortunately the quarterback got out and had some time to run, but the coverage was very good on Marshall County's part. Morgan
and Sanders, the deep backs. Childress also does the punting. He'll receive the ball at his own 5-yard line. Marshall County with a good rush. Childress gets a nice kick away. Sanders fumbles with it down inside the 35-yard line. He falls on it at the 32, and that's where Marshall County will take over. That was a heck of a punt.
That was about 47 yards in the air. Not only in the air, Jeff, not only 47 yards in distance, but that had about a 3.5-second hang time. It was a beautiful high spiral kick. The beauty of that is it gave Caldwell County time to get down, and that really made a big difference. That took the team out of the hole and put Marshall County in good field position, but not what they could have had.
10-18 to play in the first quarter. No score. Marshall County with their first possession of the night. Sanders in motion. Bevel is the first man through. He takes the handoff, works his way up to the 35-yard line, a gain of 3, perhaps 4. Fuqua from the linebacker spot makes the tackle. Well, they give him 4. It's 2nd and 6.
I heard you say in the pregame that you asked Pat Gates whether he was as good offensively or defensively, and he answered reasonably. He didn't really commit either way, and he's right. He's very valuable both ways. He's good as a linebacker because of his quickness. He's able to get to the hole even if they're not running right at him.
A single setback, flankers to each side. Morgan's one of them. He goes in motion. He takes the handoff and turns it off right tackle. Across the 35 out to the 38. It'll bring up 3rd down. It's a pickup of about 3 yards for Jared Morgan before he's brought down by Kelly Tinsley. Talk about a young man with a lot of size. Kelly Tinsley, 5'8", 300 pounds. Third down and 3 coming up here for Marshall County. It's actually going to be closer to 4, I think. Call it third and a long 3. They're going to send Philip Ladd wide to the right. Teckenbrock in at tight end. Sanders in the slot on the right side. He'll go in motion. They run down the line, and Rockney holds on to it. Fake the handoff to Morgan. Rockney around left in, and Rockney's across the 40, out to the 44. Good enough for a Marshall County first down. Evans Wells makes the tackle for Caldwell County.
Yeah, nice little off tackle play. He went down, fake to the halfback, going off tackle, then the halfback turned around and blocked for him. There's a third part of that where he could pitch back to a running back. I've really not seen them work that much. I think that was the keeper all the way. Let Rockney just run around left end and get the first down.
Marshall County yet to go to the air. They've got Ladd split wide to the right again. Sanders in the slot on that side. A pair of setbacks. They are Bevel and Morgan. Flags go down. It's going to be a legal procedure. That'll back Marshall County up 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 15. And 3 different flags go down, so no question about this one.
No. Jimmy's going to try to establish a running game in this one, unlike a Mayfield game or even the Tillman game, where he came out, he used motion, he used a lot of slot formation. Pretty much he's lined up in his basic wishbone with a split here and there, but he's handed off the ball left side, right side, and I feel like he's got to think that if he doesn't make mistakes like this, that he should be able to drive the ball on Caldwell County. Now, you're in a little different situation. You got 5 more yards. He may have to go to the air.
1st and 15 for Marshall County from their own 39-yard line. It's a pitch back to Bobby Sanders coming around left end. Sanders cuts it inside at the 40, and he gets out to the 44. That's the original line of scrimmage, so Sanders gets those 5 yards back before he's taken down by Billy Hooks. Now it'll be 2nd and 10 for Marshall County. Ball at their 44-yard line. Marshall County had a good defensive effort to open up the ball game. Stadium on both sides of the field. 2 receivers to the left side. Morgan was in the slot. He'll go in motion. Rockney with a play-action fake. He's going to go to the air over the middle. It's complete to Wes Teckenbrock in Caldwell County territory down at the 38-yard line. Tackled there by Stuart Childress. But you talk about threading the needle. Rockney did just that.
He really did. Play-action pass. Halfback, right side fullback. Made a power fake to the fullback over right tackle. Then he dropped straight back. Teckenbrock went down about 10 yards and then out into the flat. As you said, he was right between the cornerback and the safety for Caldwell. And it was a great pass by and a good catch.
Marshall County with a single setback. Flankers to each side. Morgan will go in motion from one of those flanker positions. They give him the ball, and he's tackled in the backfield. Nice defensive play by Jason Fawn for Caldwell County. That's going to back the Marshalls up a couple of yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Well, that time they went over, moved the nose guard over in the gap, and they shot. And they're probably going to feel like they got to come up and play hard ball, or they're not going to stop Marshall.
Receivers to each side. Tony Bevel, the fullback, gets the call. Bevel across the 40, close to the 44-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down for Marshall County. Tackle made by Daniel Kortner. That's a pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. That penalty looms kind of large here if Marshall County doesn't get the first down.
Well, of course, they already got the 1 first down. They got the first down after that. But there again, basic offensive plays. Somebody good.
Rockney's Drake takes a straight drop. He's going to the air, throwing long for Teckenbrock down the sideline, and it's just overthrown a little bit. Joe Dan Talley had good coverage for Caldwell County. Just an out pattern for Teckenbrock, just a little bit overthrown.
Yeah, ran the little counter fake. Fullback goes on, may half
down. Now they quickly get the punting team onto the field, and it'll be Donald Davis to punt it away for the Marshalls. He'll be standing close to midfield when he receives the ball. 6:23 to play in the first quarter. No score in this one. Davis gets a nice snap. Fuqua had a great rush. It's a good kick from Davis. It may bounce into the end zone. It bounces right at the 1-yard line and goes ahead and goes into the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20, and that's where Caldwell County will start their second offensive possession of the night.
You know, that
had a little bit of a pause there, and the officials are trying to signal that they'd like to take a minute for water here. So we will step.
Also save in the Shopperama Electrical Department on tartan vinyl electrical tape. 7 roll 49 cents. Heavy-duty extension cord, 16-3, 50-foot, $4.99. And single-gang PVC switch boxes, 25 cents. Shop all big Shopperama departments and save. They're your handyman headquarters in Calvert City and Draftonville. And don't forget the clothing and shoe department at Shopperama in Draftonville.
Welcome back to Trailer Stadium. Caldwell County taking over after the punt. That went into the end zone for a touchback. They've got Grooms and Fuqua as flankers to both sides. A receiver wide to the right. They're going to go to the air. Childress throwing downfield for Fuqua. Fuqua catches it on the sideline. Good night. Gerald Fuqua is gone. Marshall County had pretty good coverage. Fuqua made the catch, and he's into the end zone for an 80-yard touchdown pass. And Caldwell County strikes first here.
Okay, Jeff, what happened? Again, no driving. That time, Pat Gates did a great job. He took both his backs, put them as slot backs. He sprinted them both out into the flat area, spread the defense out. That time, I'm not sure who the right corner was that tried to make the interception. Really came up, and you're talking about either we've got 7 points or they've got 7 points. But it was thrown out down the sideline. The cornerback came up, made an attempt. He missed it. Fuqua caught it. Nobody's going to catch it. If he'd intercepted it, it'd have been 7 points for the Marshalls.
Kelly Davis will come on to attempt the extra point, and it's good. Caldwell County strikes quickly on their second possession. 6:03 to play in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Tigers. Back in a moment here on WC. Joe Dan Talley.
Well, it looks like Pat Gates took a page out of Jim Shelton's book, and I don't blame him. The kickoff, especially the specialty teams of Marshall County, has been outstanding for being suspicious at the first of the season. And that time he tried to get the ball out of Sanders' hands. It didn't work. One of those quick kicks, it bounced it straight to him. Great return, good field position.
They move it back to the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 there. Double tight end set, wishbone formation. It's Jared Morgan cutting off right tackle, and Morgan wrapped up in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a couple. Kelly Tinsley making the stop for Caldwell County.
Jeff, Caldwell County's playing on emotion right now. They had 7.
Up 5 more yards, and it'll be 2nd and 17. Let's see if we can go down onto the field to Jeremy Rose.
We'll have to keep a tab on how many times that happens tonight. Second time already. Marshall County's jumped there on the line and been back over here on their offense or defensive side of the ball as well. So maybe they can get it on down the field this time and do a little bit better.
7-0 Caldwell County. 5:19 to play in the first quarter. Rockney runs over to the sideline, has the play, brings it into the huddle. They're going to bring Philip Ladd wide to the left, and Teckenbrock wide to the right. 2 receivers in the slots. Rockney drops back to pass. Rockney with a little dump over the middle, and I believe it bounced right in front of Tony Bevel. Incomplete pass. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Tried to come right over the top there. A little dump off, and it was short.
Well, think about it. That was a middle screen. I think he did catch it, but he was on his knees when he caught it, so it made no difference. I believe it's going to be a completed pass. They didn't take it back to the line of scrimmage, and the stick actually moved back about 2 yards. But regardless, it really wasn't made that much difference. But there again, 3rd and long situation, not familiar territory for Marshall County.
Same formation, single set back, 2 receivers to each side. Rockney dropped in the backfield, a big sack of the quarterback. Caldwell County's Evans Wells coming from his defensive end position. It's 4th and long for Marshall County.
3 and 4 receivers and not leaving blockers in.
Another good kick from Donald Davis. Grooms lets it bounce inside the 25. Now he picks it up, comes up the left sideline, gets it close to the 30-yard line, knocked out of bounds by Matt Holt.
And instead of what I'm saying is they ran 4 receivers, 2 wideouts and 2 backs out. They left only the fullback, Bevel, to block. Both ends came hard. There was nobody to pick them up. Caldwell's not sitting back waiting for them. They're coming after them. What they may have to change back is some of the strategies they did early where they run a little play action, leave your blockers in, go to the flat, or go to just a one-route receiver.
Line actually kind of tripped, and it was Kendall Winsett to come over and make sure he didn't go any further.
Well, Coach Gates is calling an extremely good game. What he said earlier, he can't line up. The first series, he lined up toe-to-toe and tried to hand the ball off. Made 0 net yards in a game. Now the last 2 series, he's come up, he's spread them out, he's splitting the field. He's going to say, we're going to get our backs one-on-one on your people, and we're going to try to outrun you. Good call. He's doing it again.
Flankers to each side, wideouts to each side, and a single setback. Childress rolls out to his left. Childress is going to go to the air. He is throwing long for Kelly Davis, and it is nearly picked off by Philip Ladd. Ladd made a nice play to knock it away, almost picked it off. It'll bring up third down and 4 coming up here for Caldwell County. They lead at 7-0. We're under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Jeff, we're fortunate that's not 7 more points. I know he caught it, and I know he made a good play, but when he was ready to throw the ball, he was 5 to 7 yards behind the defender. It was underthrown, which allowed him a chance to come back and make a good play on the ball. But if it had been thrown out there far enough, that'd have been another touchdown.
Grooms and Fuqua are the 2 setbacks, receivers to each side. Childress barks the signals. He's going to go to the air. They've got him, and he got it away to Fuqua. Fuqua cuts inside, and Fuqua's got enough for a first down across the 40, out close to the 45. Jared Morgan making the hit, and there is a flag down, so that may go for naught.
It's going to be pushing. It was definite. All the whole stands and everybody saw it, and even the coaches on the other side are fussing.
Yeah.
Well, he pushed him from behind. One of the defensive men, I didn't see who the defensive person for Marshall was, but it was a middle screen, trying to get Fuqua the ball in the middle, just like Mayfield did last week, and you got to think that's what they wanted to do. But there was a defensive lineman that could have made the tackle. He was pushed.
Mark off 15 yards. They'll spot the ball at the Caldwell County 20. So the first down is nullified, and it'll be 3rd and 20 for the Tigers. 2:47 to play in the first quarter, and Caldwell County with the early lead, 7-0.
Yeah, that's a 25-yard penalty. In other words, the 15 yards and the 10 yards he gained on the running play to negate. So that's a big penalty. That hurt for Caldwell County.
3rd down and 20. They bring Davis wide to the right. He's got Wyatt wide to the left, and they're going to run it out of the shotgun. Childress with Grooms and Fuqua on each side of him. The snap is high. Childress rolls out to the right, and he's going to throw it away. And we've talked about the athleticism. Marshall County crowd wants intentional grounding. We've talked about the athleticism of Stuart Childress. We talked about it in the pregame show, and I tell you, he is a great athlete. He eluded a couple of tacklers back there, and it was a nice job to do it.
Yeah, it was a great call. The crowd upset. They wanted intentional grounding. He had an offensive end from the far left side. He rolled to his right, or he scrambled to his right. Number 84, the left end, was coming across underneath it, Evan Wells. He was about 10 or 15 yards from the ball. He would have never caught it, but he was in the area.
Another bad snap. Childress able to get this one, and he gets away another nice kick. Sanders calls for the fair catch inside the Marshall County 40. It'll be spotted just inside the 40. Marshall County will have it. Ball spotted just inside their 40-yard line. Rockney turns and gives it to Tony Bevel. Bevel with some nice hard running. Picks up several yards across the 45 to the 46, a gain of about 6 yards before he's brought down by Fuqua.
Probably the best thing that Marshall County could do at this point in time, Jeff, is take the ball, do exactly what they did then. Do this 4, 5, 6 times. Get a couple first downs, drive it down Caldwell's throat, and score. That'll take that adrenaline out of them. It won't just be a score. It'll take some of that energy they've got.
Same play. They go to Bevel again. Bevel muscles his way for 2, maybe 3 more. Straight up the gut. Jim Hayes makes the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down. The 3rd and about 2 coming up here for Marshall County.
So look for Caldwell to send those linebackers. The offensive line is blocking fairly well. They really are. They're blocking that front 5 okay. Where the mistakes and the tackles are coming is those 3 linebackers are so quick at the defensive line. It's those 3 linebackers.
Minute and a half to play in the first quarter. Caldwell County leads this one 7-0. Marshall County with a double tight end set. Here's Bobby Sanders trying to go off right tackle, and Sanders may be short of a first down. Good defensive play by Billy Hooks of Caldwell County. May have been no gain.
Well, you want to say go for it, but you just don't. You just don't want to do it right now. The ball's on our side of the field, and although you want to say you could make a yard, kids think you could. You don't want to give a team that's got that momentum the ball right now. Safest thing to do is punt it, make them go the distance of the field.
Grooms and Childress are the deep backs for Caldwell County. Donald Davis will punt for the 3rd time here in the first quarter. Davis gets away a high kick, spiraling kick, angles it toward the sideline, and it's a pretty good kick. They're going to say it went out. I thought they were going to move it back a little further, but they say it actually went out at the Caldwell County 29.
Yeah, he was trying to kick it away from Childers. And,
They've got Davis wide to the left. They're going to put Wyatt in the slot on that side. I formation. Vaughn, the fullback. Fuqua, the tailback. Childers turns and pitches to Fuqua, trying to come around the right end. Fuqua cuts inside, and he's wrapped up at the 28-yard line by Bobby Sanders. That'll be a loss of about a half a yard.
Just a power sweep, and that's what, looking at the formations from the scouting report, when he lines up in the I formation, they either run a little counter fake to him, fake to the fullback, and give it to him.
First quarter. I don't believe Caldwell County will snap it before the end of the quarter. They run up to the line, but they're
break on him, so he's doing a good job.
They're going to run it out of the shotgun. Pair of setbacks, receivers to each side. Childers, another high snap. He's able to control it. He rolls out to his right. Childers still on the run. Now he's going to have to tuck it under and head for the sidelines, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Pretty good pickup for Childers. It'll bring up third down for Caldwell County. It'll be third and about 4 here for the Tigers. Tackle made for Marshall County by Tony Bevel.
Well, Jeff, he had both his halfbacks in front of him. As you said, he was out of the shotgun about 6 yards deep, and the two backs were in front of him. He rolled to his left, and Fuqua was out in front of him as a potential blocker, as a potential pass receiver, get across the line of scrimmage. Then they could react. He'd already gained 5-6 yards.
Third down and 4 for Marshall County, or for Caldwell County. Receivers to each side, pair of setbacks. Childers with that head bobbing. It's a play-action fake. He throws it over there for David Fawn, the fullback. It's complete at the 40, and he's across the 40 to the 44. That's good enough for a first down before he's brought down by Gary Rockney. Good
play right out of the counter pass play out of the Marshall County playbook, I might add. We fake to the fullback, then we'll take a reverse out. What normally happens is a guy the ball's being faked to
4-yard line. They have got Davis wide to the left, a receiver in the slot on that side. I believe that's Wyatt. Pair of setbacks. And movement. It was Bubby Puckett in the slot, and he forgot the snap count. He started, and that'll back him up 5 yards. It'll be first and 15. Illegal procedure on the Tigers.
Well, it may not be a good statement when you're losing or when you're behind 7-0. Shoot everything perfect to beat Marshall County, and so far they have.
Wyatt wide to the right. Davis wide to the left. Grooms and Fuqua are the flankers. 3-step drop for Stuart Childress. Throws it out there for Gerald Fuqua, and he's tackled at the 40-yard line. Nice play by Tony Bevel. Just reached out and grabbed him around the ankles.
Boy, I tell you what, that was a saving tackle, too.
He had a lot of room in front of him.
Yeah, I don't think it may not have been a touchdown, because there were 3 or 4 orange shirts, but they were about 6, 8, 10 yards down the field, and that could have been an awful good game when you give him the...
Caldwell comes to the line of scrimmage. Wyatt goes wide to the right. Now Caldwell County wants a timeout to talk about it, so we will step aside too. Welcome back to Traylor Stadium. It's 2nd and 14 for Caldwell County. They use their first timeout of the ball game. Receivers to each side, flankers to each side, and a single setback for the Tigers. Childress rolls to his right. Marshall County's got some pursuit. He's going to go to the air. Sanders is back there. He well overthrew his intended receiver, which is Evans Wells. I thought Sanders...
Impressed with the way he's standing there under stress. There was a rush on. He set up and just threw the ball nicely.
This is a crucial third down play. 3rd and 14 for Caldwell County. Marshall County needs to stop them here. Out of the shotgun, they'll run it again. Childress gets a good snap. He's getting pressured. He rolls out to his left, throws over the middle. It is complete for Wyatt. Just inside Marshall County territory, but I believe short of a first down. Tackle made by Gary Rockney. Ball will be spotted just on the Marshall County side of the field.
But there again, give Childress credit. As you said, that natural ability. He was rushed in the pocket somewhat, Jeff. He slid out to his left, stood tall, waited, got a receiver open, threw it only, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for us, it was only a 7-yard pass and short. But he still showed a lot of poise.
Sanders and Morgan, the deep backs for Marshall County. Childress receives it at the 40. Another great kick, and Marshall County is just going to let it bounce into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. A great punt. for Stuart Childress.
Yeah, they called a 49-yard punt. That's only because it was on the 49-yard line. That ball hit about 4 or 5 yards into the end zone. It was really over. It was a 50-yard plus kick. Net-wise, it's
have done very well here in the first half. Marshall County from their own 20. They're going to send Morgan in motion. Rockney on the option, holds on to it, tries to come around the right side, and he's stuffed at the 22-yard line by Kelly Tinsley.
I don't understand him not running over Tinsley. I mean, I just know Tinsley backed off his block and went out and made that tackle outside the end.
And talking to Coach Gates, he says Tinsley's a great lineman. Conditioning right now is his biggest obstacle. Play action fake. Rockney is going to go to the air. He's going to go long. He's got Bobby Sanders down there, complete at the 40. Bobby's at the 30. He's at the 20, trying to get to the sideline at the 10, 5. He's brought down at the 1-yard line. Marshall County inside the Caldwell County 5. Great play. Childress finally made the tackle for Caldwell County.
Well, again, the set, Bobby was on the right side on the wing. Gary rolled to his left. He made a fake instead, then rolled all the way out to his left. He looked everywhere, looked everybody off, Childress and everybody to the left. Then he turned and threw back across the field and caught Bobby coming from the right side offensively all the way through to center field. In fact, he was just barely underthrown, and it caused Sanders to have to kind of wait on the ball, which allowed them to catch him and run him down.
The ball actually inside the 1. They're going to give it to Tony Bevel, and Bevel is into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall County. Set up by the 77-yard pass play from Rockney to Bobby Sanders. 8:08 to play in the first half. Marshall County will bring Justin Locke on to try the PAT, successful in his only attempt of the year, that being last week against Mayfield. And Marshall 1 circles the track with Vincent Hathcock at the controls. Pretty good snap. Locke with a high booming kick that splits the uprights. And we're tied up at 7 with 8:08 to play in the first half. Back in a moment here on WCBL Sports. Well, they're going to spot the ball at the 31, make it the 31-yard line.
You know, to jump back a minute on that long pass play, I think the thing that was so pretty for those that, obviously didn't get to see it, is his rolling to the left, his looking the entire defense off to the left, then turning and throwing back across the field to Bobby running that fly route. The execution was really much better than the pass.
Childress will run it from the shotgun again. Lifts the leg to show the center he's ready. He eludes a couple of tacklers. He breaks across the 35, across the 40, down the sideline, close to midfield before he's wrestled out of bounds. Marshall County had 3 players in the backfield pursuing him, and he still comes up with a great gain. Rockney finally brought him down out of bounds. It'll be first down for Caldwell County.
They're going to downfield blocking. I believe that was an intentional play, and give him his talent, split him out, and let him run that quarterback draw.
2 receivers to each side. Childress up under center, single setback. That is Justin Grooms. 3-step drop he's going to throw out on the right side, and he threw it behind his intended receiver, which was Craig Wyatt. Short out pattern, take about 3 steps and turn around, but the ball thrown
behind everybody, and fortunately Childress didn't see him, and he was jumping up and down, and the coaches were pointing too. They may come back and try to run the same play.
Childress out of the shotgun, single setback is Justin Grooms. Childress receives the snap. Marshall County pursuing him again. He throws over the top. It's nearly picked off by Rockney. They're going to throw a flag, pass interference. Rockney and Sanders had the coverage. Rockney nearly came in and picked it off, but they throw a flag.
Yeah, you try to be unbiased as much as you can, but I don't see that at all. Gary Rockney played it perfect. He was in center field. He saw that. The coaches told him that looked for number 80 deep. That's exactly what they did. They came back with the
bumped him from behind, and Gary Rockney hit him at the top of the helmet. So I guess that's probably what it was. They saw it just as plain as day as I did, and that I mean, it was minute, but yeah, they took the call.
That's a 15-yard penalty, so it's first down for Caldwell County, and the ball in Marshall County territory at the Marshall County 40. Childress out of the shotgun again. Takes the snap, and Childress works his way through the middle, still on his feet across the 20, and he fumbled the football. I believe Marshall County got on it, fumbled it inside the 20, and Marshall County gets the ball back. So that is the break we were looking for. Looked like another great play from Stuart Childress. I didn't see who made the hit. Several orange jerseys around the play. Sanders was back there. Morgan was back there. At the 17-yard line of Marshall County, that's where they'll take over. First turnover of the game.
All of the pregame talk, or the majority of the pregame talk, was Jared Buchla. But I'm like you, and he's done a great job on defense, especially, I think. But now, right now, Stuart Childress is the man of the hour.
Double tight end set. Caldwell County had 8 men on the line of scrimmage. They simply turn and give it to the second man through, which was Jared Morgan, and Morgan's able to come across the 20 out to close to the 21 before he's taken down by Gerald Fuqua. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6 for Marshall County.
You're exactly right about the 8 men. They were bringing all the linebackers. That's 5 on the front line and 3 linebackers, and they were all coming. Went with the first fake, and that allowed Morgan to pop through.
2 receivers to the right side. Rockney's going to go to the air. Rockney rolling out to his right, and it was intended for Phillip Ladd, and he just threw it in front of him.
Well, Jeff, they were coming again. They were bringing the linebackers, and credit that offensive line was picking up the stunt. Gary was able to roll out, kind of a semi-roll out behind the right tackle, and he set up. He was wide open.
And a 3rd down play coming up for Marshall County from their own 21-yard line. Bevel, the fullback. Morgan's going to go in motion. It's a counter play. They give it to Bobby Sanders coming around the right side. Sanders across the 25, out close to the 30-yard line, and maybe got across the 30. That's good enough for a Marshall County first down. Was it Jeremy Reed? Okay, beg your pardon. It was Jeremy Reed. No, it was... Okay, you're right.
Coming from his left halfback, right. Basically, it was almost what you'd almost call a reverse. He faked to the fullback inside, then the offside back went in also. Then he handed to the wingback coming back, almost like a reverse. And he went around the end and just picked up enough.
That's why we pay Chris Freeland those big bucks.
Same thing the other way.
Same play. They're going to give it to Sanders. It is Sanders this time. He is tripped up, but Sanders does a good job to stay on his feet. He turns nothing into something and gets it to the 35-yard line before he's brought down by Craig Wyatt. He was initially hit near the line of scrimmage, but able to move it ahead for a gain of close to 5. Double tight end set, Ladd and Teckenbrock. Rockney waits for the second man through. That is Bobby Sanders. And Sanders across the 35 to the 38. Kelly Tinsley makes the stop for Caldwell County, just shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2. Under 6-minute drive going. A drive that if Marshall County could keep it going, could conceivably run out the first half, hopefully with a score. Double tight end set, wishbone formation. Rockney hit right as he takes the snap. Rockney able to sneak back across the 40. That's shy of a first down, I believe. Tackled by Kelly Tinsley. Wow, we called his name a lot. It's close enough to measure.
Tell you what, Jeff, the one you saw it almost get through. Again, I know it's difficult for people to quite understand, but again, if you got a nose guard, 2 tackles, 2 ends, and 3 linebackers stacked behind him, Jared Fuqua is on the right linebacker. He's the outside. He came around and went right between the center and guard and almost caught Rockney in the backfield.
Let's send it down to Jeremy Rose.
Looks like the ball is going to be just inside by inches. By inches, it's going to be 4th down.
4th and inches. And I usually say on plays like this, Marshall County does it in their sleep. Let's hope that's true.
Well, Caldwell and looking at scouting report, when they're in short yardage, a lot of times they'll bring those big tackles and bring them down inside tight. And this time, though, you won't see all those linebackers up there. There they are, up there coming through.
4th and about 6 inches. Rockney holds on to it, and Caldwell County is going to bring him down. They stuffed him. He lost about a half a yard. Kelly Tinsley got to him. And Caldwell County will take over with terrific field position.
Well, yes, it's the linebackers that they're not picking up. I know Coach Shelton can't be happy. It's again, not the ability to block. When they're hitting the attacking point, they're blocking well. It's that they're not picking up the stunts from those linebackers. Those 3 linebackers are jumping around and shooting gaps, and they're not picking them up. They're the ones that are firing through and disrupting the play.
Ball at the Marshall County 39-yard line. Childress will stay in the shotgun. 2 receivers to each side, a single setback. Childress looked to his left, looked to his right. Now he's going to throw long. Marshall County's got a player back there. It's Bobby Sanders. And Sanders nearly had a pick. Fuqua did a nice job to come back and knock it away from Bobby Sanders. Clock arrested, 5:05 to play in the first half, tied at 7. Same formation. Childress in the shotgun again. Childress working his way around in the backfield. He's going to run, comes out to his left. Marshall County pursuing him. He goes into the air. Marshall County lays a pretty good hit on him in the person of Bobby Sanders. It'll bring up third down. I'm not sure where they're going to spot it. It's going to be at the 34-yard line. So that's a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 here for the Tigers. Clock moving, 4:40 to play in the first half.
I'm not sure unless there's a loss on this play that Caldwell County's not in a 4-down situation.
Childress has accounted for over 150 yards for Caldwell County here in the first half. He's got close to 50 of them on the ground. He goes up under center on this one. Marshall County brings 6 men on the line. Play action fake. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got his man open. It's Craig Wyatt at the 20. Wyatt stays on his feet inside the 10. Brought down at the 7-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Phillip Ladd. Check that. Tony Bevel made the defensive play, but it's good enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Caldwell County with 4:09 to play in the first half.
Well, there again, you know, when you're going downhill, when you're starting, Marshall County has started pretty much this entire ball game and they're into the field, and except for the long pass, really had very little offense to show for it. Caldwell, on the other hand, has started in the plus side of the field nearly every time, and it's a much easier track.
They flood 3 receivers to the right side. They've got a single setback. That is Justin Grooms. And a flag goes down. They actually spotted the ball at the 10, so evidently Wyatt went out of bounds at the 10 on that long pass play. It's a penalty against Caldwell County. And it's a legal procedure, another 5-yard penalty against the Tigers.
Well, the good and bad of this, it probably changes Coach Pat Gates' philosophy. That's been his best weapon.
1st and goal from the 15 of Marshall County.
Yep.
Childress in the shotgun. Single setback, Justin Grooms. Childress throws over the left side, and it's incomplete, intended for Fuqua. Bevel with the coverage. It'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, but the coverage is really West Teckenbrock. He's the one that came through and knifed him. Again, when you run 4 receivers, they were in a double slot. You send all of them out.
Caldwell County breaks out of the huddle. They've got Wyatt and Davis wide to the right. Fuqua and Evans-Wells wide to the left. Grooms is the lone setback as Childress will run it from the shotgun. And Marshall County's got him back. Oh, he's got on. He stayed on. He should have just went down the first time because they bring him down all the way back at the 34-yard line. It was Justin Eves, the nose guard. He eluded the initial. I thought they had him in their grasp. And in looking back on it, he should have just went down there. They're going to spot it at the 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from there. But Justin Eves with a great defensive play.
Well, yes, but West Teckenbrock, same thing. I've been singing Pat Gates' praise, and that's, I mean, the one time you do it, but you go up there again, and nobody, West was uncovered. Not a soul touched him. He had no one even bumping him. That's twice he shot through. He's the one that got him the first time, and he got away from him, but there was nobody blocking him. I mean, you don't do that 2 or 3 times in a row.
3rd and goal from the 31-yard line. Grooms the lone setback, 2 receivers to each side. Flags go down. Childress is going toward the end zone, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Tony Bevel. Well, let's see what the flags are for.
I think it's illegal motion. It's all coming back anyway. It really was academic. Yeah, they threw the flags prior to the... Well, I'm sorry. I thought he called motion. He didn't either.
He did call motion.
I mean, he did call motion.
But the play will stand, and they actually say that Bevel goes down in the end zone.
Touchback.
So they'll bring it to the 20-yard line. So Marshall County dodges a bullet here. Well, Caldwell County had it 1st and goal.
Yeah,
and a great defensive
It was
play.
tremendous defense, but there again, he was under stress. And yes, they were offsides that time. It's going to be a water break. But again, both...
More sideline to go.
And you talk about quick again. I was watching Kevin Tinsley again coming from his left tackle. He was out there and had a hand on Morgan. He just didn't get him. And I tell you what, I don't blame you. If I had some guy 5'8", 300 pounds coming after me, he just ducked under him, I think is what he did. But just a good run that time. It was just a power sweep. And they had a defense. He just made a good run.
Teckenbrock comes wide to the right. They're going to put Sanders in the slot on that side. And then we got Morgan in motion. They turn and pitch to Morgan. It's a reverse to Teckenbrock. Teckenbrock trying to come around the left side. He got a nice block. Teckenbrock across the 35 to the 38-yard line before he's brought down by Fuqua. But I thought that one might go for a loss for a minute. But somebody gave Teckenbrock a nice block there in the backfield. And it's a pickup for Wes Teckenbrock of about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, it was a hard 5 or 6 yards. He ran about 40. Wes was split out to the right side, handed the ball off to the right halfback. He handed it off to the left halfback, and then Wes came around behind everybody and took what you call a wide reverse. Ran about 40 yards, but made 6.
Rockney holds on to it on the option. He turns and pitches it back to Morgan. It's fumbled, and Caldwell County may be on it. Marshall County may have gotten back on it. They're going to get to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
The Marshalls did get back on the football, fortunately. Kelly Tinsley got it. 5'8", 300 pounds. You think, well, he's not quick, and he's very deceiving.
Tell you what, that rounded fell. You're right. He fell.
1:40 to play in the first half. We're tied at 7. 3rd and long for Marshall County. 3rd and 11 play here. Single setback. It's a draw play. They give it to Tony Bevel straight up the middle. Bevel stays on his feet. Nice run for Bevel. It's short of a first down, but he's across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. Broke a couple of tacklers to do it. Jim Hayes finally brought him down. It's 4th and 4. Marshall County will bring on the punting team.
Well,
they're not going to be in any hurry here.
Yeah. And you say, well, why don't you throw it down the field? Get on down there and let's try for the first down. It's a safe play. Possibly can pick up the first down, but not. You don't want to make any mistakes right now. You tried once and didn't make it on 4th down. Punt the ball down and go in 7-7 halftime. Regroup.
It's a high snap. Davis is going to try to run it down. Davis going to try to get away a kick. He does. Across midfield, they're going to let it bounce, and it takes a huge Marshall County bounce down inside the 35, inside the 30, almost to the 29-yard line. Down by Jeremy Reed there, but boy, give Davis a lot of credit.
Wow.
He picked up that ball, and he had the presence of mind to give himself a little bit of room to get away a kick. It was kind of a knuckleball kick. It was a half tied at 7. Ball at the Caldwell County 29. Childress up under center, single setback. They run the draw play, and it's Gerald Fuqua wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage for a loss back to the 26. It'll bring up 2nd down and 13. Making the stop for Marshall County, Matt Blanchard, defensive tackle, who got into the backfield and brought down Fuqua.
Well, the last play of the game, and again, you're in your own territory. You run a draw, maybe you get some yardage, maybe you don't, but you don't do anything dumb. They both go in, they both play good half, and they'll regroup and come back out and see what happens, settle it in the second half.
This most likely will be the final play of the first half as we tick down under 10 seconds to play in the half. Caldwell County out of the huddle on the line, and Childress is just going to take a knee, and that is how the first half will end. We are tied at 7. Marshall County and Caldwell County back to give you the first half numbers and a lot more in just a moment right here on WCBL Sports.
Well,
I'd known he wanted it, I'd have got it. Oh, I understand. I couldn't get over there.
straight up the gut. Sanders stays on his feet across the 35. Nice return to the 38-yard line before he's taken down by Jason Fawn. So another nice return by Bobby Sanders. We talked about the good special teams play of Marshall County in the early part of the season.
And Jeff, that wedge is so good. Bobby came right up, got behind it, yells, go, and they took off. And that was just a really pretty, their kickoff return is just a work of art. They're doing a super job of running that back.
Flankers to each side. Single setback is Tony Bevel. Rodney takes his time with the snap count. Turns and gives it to Bevel, the fullback. Bevel straight up the middle, across the 40, out to the 44-yard line. Taken down there by Justin Groom. Pretty good game for the Marshall County fullback. It'll be second down and about 5 coming up here for Marshall County.
Jeff, the trend at that time, Caldwell stayed back. They kept the linebackers back 2 or 3 yards. When they do that, Marshall dominates the line. Look, as they come up, look for those backers to come running up in there and see if they pick up the stunt this time.
Sanders a flanker to the right, Morgan to the left, Bevel the fullback. 8 men on the line of scrimmage for Caldwell County. It is Tony Bevel again, and Bevel straight up the gut again. Another pretty good gain. He's across the 45 to the 47, on with the tackle again. It'll be third and short, third and about a half a yard. They may go ahead and bring the chains out here, and evidently it's close enough to merit a measurement.
Jared Fuqua, number 34, got up very gingerly and went off the field again. He's been nagged. Is it a knee or an ankle?
He sprained, I believe, the medial collateral ligament in his knee in a preseason scrimmage game.
He was on a stunt that time. Both the outside backers.
Let's see if we can send it down to Jeremy Rose. Jeremy?
It's going to be short this time and a little bit more than the last measurement that they had, so we're going to have fourth down.
No, it's just third down.
I think we'll go for it on this time.
Jeremy, don't give us fourth down, please. Third and about half a yard, as Jeremy had the call of the measurement there. Marshall County will come with that same formation, pair of flankers, one to each side, and Marshall County jumps on the offensive line, and that's certainly not what you want to happen there on a third and half a yard situation.
Well,
5-yard penalty.
Most of the time, and I don't, it's concentration, Jeff. It's just concentration. When you're in a game and you're excited about it and your adrenaline's going, you tend to think better. You see there, we're trying to guess with these guys, but maybe the game isn't. They weren't quite as intense this game, but there just doesn't seem to be quite the concentration that this team has shown. Not that they're not playing hard, not that they're not trying, just that concentration on what they're doing.
Bevel, the fullback. Rockney's going to go to the air. It's a screen pass out on the right side for Bobby Sanders. Sanders breaks the tackler across the 40, at the 30, at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Marshall County. Set up by a screen pass.
Yeah,
It looked like Tim Couch on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Really, the pass is going to go down in the books as about a 50-some yard pass play. But really, as you said, he faked a quick handoff and raised up and threw to Sanders right out of the flat, catching the ball only about a yard or so past the line of scrimmage, and then did the other 51 yards on his own.
55-yard touchdown pass. Rockney to Bobby Sanders. That's Sanders' second touchdown pass reception, of the year. Lock on to attempt the extra point. It's a beauty. And Marshall County goes in front 14.
Chevrolet, well, the factory is shipping our final 1998 inventory. We ordered plenty of 98s well in advance of that strike, so we are among the lucky GM dealers to still have 98 inventory. Now, when others are sitting around with empty lots, well...
Pass. Sanders with a great run. Made the right moves. Broke a couple of tackles. Gets into the end zone, and Marshall County goes up 14-7. Locke is just going to put it on the ground again. Goes right through the middle of the receiving team. Fuqua takes it at the 20. Fuqua across the 30, and he's wrapped up at the 31-yard line by Paul Holt of Marshall County. A flag on the play.
And you've got either a clip or holding on the offense. Okay, pushing. Illegal block, as they call it.
Caldwell County 7. So they'll bring the ball, should be back to the 16-yard line.
Well, now it comes up to see what Pat Gay says. He's had a couple bad breaks.
That's a 10-yard penalty. Check that.
Yeah, on the coach, which I think he is. He's not going to worry about being down 7 points. He's going to go to the little short passes, out passes, and just try to get it back a little bit at a time.
2 receivers to each side. We've got an official's timeout. Single back. That's a blocking back. That's David Fawn. Marshall County has 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Childress takes the snap over the top. Pass intended for Evans Wells. It was deflected and nearly picked off by Philip Ladd. Deflected by Kenny Pratt and nearly picked off by Ladd.
He feels like he just cannot run the ball and move the ball against Marshall County because, again, coming out throwing right away, 2 things happen: intercepted, incomplete.
Marshall County with a 6-man front. Out of the shotgun again. Childress tucks under. Childress trying to get to the outside. Marshall County with pretty good pursuit. He does cut back in and is able to pick up a few yards to the 26. He did step out of bounds. Forced out of bounds by Ladd. It's a pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the Caldwell, which is Jodan Talley. I don't believe he took a snap last week against Russellville. Jodan Talley in. Childress is going to go over there, and I'm sure they'll get him back in perhaps after this play, if not in the next couple of plays. Talley drops back. Talley being rushed back there. He's going to have to run with it. Talley able to stay on his feet. He's close to a first down. He gets it to the 30-yard line. I tell you what, these quarterbacks, Jodan Talley made a nice play there. They flushed him out of the pocket. Went to his right. If they spotted at the 30, it might be about a half a yard shy.
It's close. As you said, it was strictly just scrambling. The receivers were covered. He rolled out to his right, decided to tuck it up. Made one tackler missing, and then it scored, as you said, barely enough. And it's just going to be a left foot, right foot type measurement where he marked it.
Back down to Jeremy Rose. We send it.
Well, I was looking at Talley's numbers. He did not play last week as we wait for the chains to come on out. They'll stretch him out, and it will be short by inches.
At the same distance Marshall County had early.
He's got to make something happen. He cannot give Marshall the ball back, because this is very risky.
4th and about 6 inches here. Similar play in the first half. Caldwell County was able to hold Marshall County. Pair of setbacks. They simply let the quarterback sneak through, and I believe he got it.
Well, gutsy call.
It was a gutsy call, and it worked out for him.
Sure
9:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. Marshall County leading 14-7. Pratt made the tackle on that play for Marshall County. Actually picked up about a yard and a half, quite a bit more than what he was needing. That's Caldwell's first half of the second half. Now they're going to send Fuqua over to the slot on the left side, and they have a lone setback. Flags are going to go down. In there, he's okay. Long snap count, trying to draw Marshall County over. Childress rolling out to his left. Teckenbrock with good pursuit. He's going to bring him down. He and Tony Bevel bring him down from the backside all the way back at the 24-yard line. One of the Marshall
across from the entrance to Marshall County High School. All major credit cards accepted at Marshall Jewelers in Draftonville.
2nd down and 18 for Caldwell County. They trail Marshall County 14-7. Childress rolls out to his right, throws over the top, and Bobby Sanders had a decent chance at it. It's incomplete. Sanders had a chance at an interception.
Here again, Jeff, but again, once you continuously do something over and over and over, a defense gets used to it, and they're really able to defend it quite well.
Childress out of the shotgun. Marshall County brings 6 men to the line of scrimmage. Fake the blitz. They back off in zone coverage, and it's picked off. The pass is picked off by Sanders. Sanders down the left sideline. Sanders at the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall County. Bobby Sanders with an interception in return for a touchdown, and the Marshalls go on top 20-7.
You know, it was a great play. He overthrew, as you said. They were in a double slot as they've been the whole half. They ran one back in, one cut out. He was throwing to the man, making the cut inside, the wideout coming inside. He overthrew him. Bobby was out in the outside zone. Just watched the ball like a center fielder come right into his gut, straight down the sidelines. Nobody touched it.
Got a 40-yard interception return for a touchdown. Lock on to attempt the extra point. It's a beauty. And Marshall County leads this one 21-7 with 8:29 to play in the third quarter. Back in a moment here on WCBL Sports.
If you're looking for tires that are dependable and give long-lasting service, check into Cooper Tires. For your new set of Cooper tires, see Claude Green at Green's Tire Service in Calvert
GE
City.
light bulbs.
Marshall County with the lead. Justin Locke will kick it away. Childress and Grooms, the deep backs for the Tigers. Another squib kick right through the middle. Grooms dropped it. Loose ball on the field, still loose. Childress falls on it at the 30-yard line. It actually took a mean bounce and hit Grooms, rather, on the helmet, actually on the face mask.
Right there, and bounced straight into the other one's hand. I got to say, and I'll kind of guess say things the way they are to the wide up, but it looks like, to me, he should have been a little more conservative. Don't go to the late plays already. It's only the third quarter, plenty of time left.
They turn and pitch. It's a sweep to Grooms on the left side. He's tripped up in the backfield. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It's Wes Heckenbrock who got back there from his defensive end position to make the hit. It'll be a loss of maybe a half a yard. Great defensive play, though. It'll be second down. They'll still call it 10. They went to the I formation with just two receivers. They have been putting two receivers on each side, and they're going to stick with the I formation. Vaughn, the fullback, Grooms, the tailback. Childress, play action fake to Grooms, rolls out to the right. The pass intended for Fawn, and he overthrew it. Fawn was open, too.
He was open. But there again, now that's not bad. They're running play action, Jeff. They're coming back to line up in the eye. You should have tried to do the last series.
Sends Wyatt wide to the left. Davis to the right. Pro set. Childress takes a straight five-step drop. Jumps it over the middle for Grooms. Grooms with some running room, but he's taken down at the 35-yard line. He did pick up a few yards, but it'll be fourth, and we'll call it 5 coming up here for Caldwell County. Tackle made by Tony Bevel. And it brings up a punting situation here for the Tigers. Marshall County is going to send Morgan and Sanders back to the 25. Childress got a little bit of a rush. He gets away another high, good kick taken by Sanders inside the 30. Sanders breaks a couple of tackles. Sanders across the 40 to the 41-yard line, taken down by Caldwell County's Justin Grooms. Under 7 minutes
In the game, regardless. But Caldwell may have to come after us. They may try to make things happen defensively. They may not sit back. They're coming.
Morgan in motion. They give it to Tony Bevel, and Bevel wrapped up at the 38-yard line. A loss of yardage taken down by Gerald Fuqua. So Larry hits the nail on the head. Fuqua immediately comes in and makes an impact. That's a loss of 3 yards. Second down and 13 coming up.
Well, instead of, if you can imagine, there's somebody lined up on your nose, that you're going to, and he's going the other, and you're sitting there trying to decide which one to pick up to block.
Flankers to each side. Bevel the fullback. Morgan in motion again. They turn and pitch to Morgan. Morgan trying to sweep around the right side. He's got some running room. Morgan cuts it back in at the 45, and he's out to the 48, maybe the 49-yard line before he's tackled by Austin Bowes.
Well, nice call. What they did, they ran the power sweep just around in, and those bankers, they're stunning in between the tackles. That's why they're jamming everything up and getting inside. What they did, they came up in the outside.
Marshall County with a pair of setbacks. Bevel and Pratt. Blinker to the left side. Caldwell County brings 8 men on the line. Flags go down.
They may have got a timeout call.
And they are going to get it. So no penalty here. The Marshals take a timeout. 40-yard interception return for a touchdown. That was just moments ago. 8:29 to play in this quarter. Rockney, play action fake, over the top, pass is batted down. He had his man, Philip Ladd, but a nice play by Craig White. He batted it down right at the 35-yard line.
That was a good call. It really was. They're going to have to punt the ball, but it was a good call by Coach Shell. What he did, again, to set it, they had Phil behind him, and Craig made a good defensive play. But that was a good call. Good offensive call, just a good defensive play.
Childress and Grooms back at the 20-yard line. Davis gets away a good kick, angling toward the sideline. It bounces out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. We'll have to wait for the exact spot, but a great kick by Donald Davis. They're going to spot it at the 13-yard line. Healy's Cafe, US 62 at Kentucky Dam. Starts a full day of sports coverage. We'll have the Cardinals on our AM station, 1290 AM. That's at noon. UK on the air at 1 o'clock tomorrow on the FM side. Childress drops back to pass, throws it out on the right side to Wyatt. Wyatt catches the ball at the 20, falls forward for another yard to the 21. Tony Bevel makes the stop.
Jeff,
Gain of 7, second down and 3.
I'm going to tell you what, that's a gutsy call. And then that throw pass where two defenders were really out there between them. That's a well-executed pass.
4:40 to play in the third quarter. Caldwell County has its 2nd and 3 here. Receivers to each side, 2 setbacks. Another screen pass intended for Fuqua. Fuqua couldn't hang on to it. Gary Rockney had good coverage. Rockney probably would have brought him down after a short gain, but Fuqua couldn't haul it in. Thrown a little bit behind him.
Yeah,
bring it 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and basically what jumped the ball over to him, which he did, as you said, he threw it a little behind him. He couldn't hang on to it.
Receivers to each side, backs in the eye. Childress on the draw play. Gives it to Fuqua. Fuqua eludes one tackler, but he's brought down at the 22-yard line. Several Marshall County players in on that tackle. Kenny Pratt, Tony Bevel, Corey English. It'll bring up 4th and 3. Also in on that tackle, Kendall Winsett.
Well,
4th. Teckenbrock nearly got that punt. Calling for a fair catch at the 40-yard line is Bobby Sanders, but
the best one was the kickoff return, which they got at about to the 30. But Marshall's done an excellent job this half of field position.
2 receivers to the right side. Ladd is wide. Sanders was in the slot. He goes in motion. Play action fake. Rockney rolling out to his right. Pass over the middle, intended for Teckenbrock. Bounces right in front of him. He had Ladd and Teckenbrock.
What they're doing is getting away from those inside linebackers that are stunning through the gaps and stopping their inside stuff.
2nd and 10. Morgan goes in motion. We're going to get illegal motion on Marshall County. 3:39 to play in the third quarter, so it now becomes 2nd and 15 for the Marshalls.
They don't move.
2 receivers to the left side. Bevel and Sanders are the 2 setbacks. Sanders gets the call. Sanders maybe got a yard. Tripped up in the backfield. Nice defensive play for Caldwell County by Brian Kortner. You know whose name we haven't called in a while? Tinsley.
Kelly Tinsley. Well, what they're doing, Jeff, again, they're running stunts, and they'll come up linebacker. So happens they're running away from Kevin's side that time for this half.
All just inside the 36-yard line. Rockney's going to go to the air. Rockney has got a man over the top. That's Sanders, complete for a first down and several more in the Caldwell County territory to the 42-yard line, taken down by Brian Kortner.
Nice play. Slot. Sanders in the slot, and they ran them both down. They both looked over the inside shoulder.
Ladd wide to the right. That's the short side of the field. Sanders in the slot over there. Single setbacks. Tony Bevel. Now Morgan comes in motion from the left side. Morgan gets the pitch back, trying to cut around right end, and Morgan eluded one tackler. That was Justin Grooms, who got into the backfield. He came across the 40 to the 39, maybe the 38-yard line. Kortner on the stop again.
Well, again, linebacker blitz. Grooms is the other linebacker opposite Fuqua's, and a lot of fun for those guys, right?
Oh, yes, they're having a great time.
How much does it cost to do this?
$25.
You plan on doing it every year?
Yes, we are. It's an annual thing.
Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
All right. Rockney's up under center. Long snap count. Turns and gives it to Tony Bevel. Bevel able to find his way up the middle to the 44-yard line. Kelly Tinsley makes the stop for the Tigers. Pickup of a couple. 3rd down and 5. Forthcoming here as we are under 2 minutes.
Sometimes you get it, sometimes they get an easy layup. Same principle. They're sending people trying to make big defensive plays.
Rockney's going to go to the air on third down. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to tuck it under and try to run with it. Rockney able to get to the outside. He's got a first down for Marshall County across the 30, inside the 25, finally brought down there. Tinsley in on the stop. Also there, Justin Grooms for Caldwell County. Rockney with a
Coming back, but really not a good design play. He just made it happen.
first down and 10 for the Marshalls. Ball inside the Caldwell County 25. Double tight end set out of the wishbone. Sanders coming around left end. Sanders trying to get to the outside. He lost the football, and Caldwell County's got it. Making the recovery is Justin Grooms. That's Marshall County's first turnover of the night.
Well, it just, again,
Caldwell County will take over. Marshall County leads at 21-7. We're under a minute to play in the third. Backs were in the eye. Now they move into the pro set. Buchel was the tailback. Receivers to each side. Childress, play action fake, rolls out to his left. Pass intended for Wyatt. He couldn't hang on to it. It hit him right on the numbers. He's upset with himself. Marshall County's Philip Ladd nearly came up with an interception after it bounced off of Craig Wyatt.
and what happens, and especially when you try to do a passing game, you're running passes every play, and fatigue is setting in on them.
Receivers to each side, same formation, pair of setbacks. Childress takes a big drop over the top, screen pass for Justin Grooms, complete at the 25. Grooms ahead to the 29. Tackle made for Marshall County by Brett Gibbs. It'll be third down coming up. Third down, we'll call it 6. Marshall County player down. Let's send it down to Jeremy Rose. Believe it's Brett Gibbs, the man who made the tackle.
Well, we'll have to check. He's on the far side right now, and we'll have to just wait and see when the trainer came back and order things about Dr. Forte, the team doctor for the Marshall County Marshals. Back up to you guys.
29.3 seconds to play in the third quarter, 21-7. Marshall County with the lead. Third down and 6 here for Caldwell County. Childress going to go to the air. Left side, the pass nearly picked off. It's tipped twice, and then Wyatt nearly got it for Caldwell County. It was tipped once by Ladd, tipped again by Bevel, and Wyatt, the intended receiver, nearly came up with the ball after all. But it'll bring up 4th and long. County. Sanders and Morgan, the deep backs. Marshall County brings another big rush. Another high kick. They're going to let it bounce, and Sanders able to pick it up at the 30-yard line. Sanders still on his feet across the 40. Sanders cuts back inside. Sanders across midfield, still on his feet. He broke one tackle, gets to the outside. He's on the sideline. Sanders needs a block down there. He's going to be taken down inside the 20 at the 15. Wow, what a return by Bobby Sanders. Childress finally got him. The punter finally got him.
You're talking about somewhere the ball hit, and it looked like it was even going to squib and roll on down into the end zone. And what's happening, that stunt is upsetting the linemen. They're trying to make their calls without trying to get too technical. You go up there and you've got a zone 1, a 0, 1, 2, 3 block, and that's where they're moving. And it's really credited to the movement on the Caldwell County defense.
Marshall County with a lot of beef on that offensive line. They turn and give it to Morgan. Morgan across the 15 and down to the 13-yard line before he's taken down by Craig Wyatt. Pickup of 7 yards for Jared Morgan. And Marshall County, I don't know if, I guess you noticed it there, Larry, but your tight ends were Nathan Sanderson, 6'1", 265 pounds on the left side, and I never did get the number of the right tight end, but they had a lot of beef on the line there. Sanderson's still in there. We'll check the number on the other tight end on the right side. Same play. They turn and give it to Morgan. Morgan cuts back in on the inside across the 10 down to about the 8-yard line. Stuart Childress makes the stop. And that other tight end for Marshall County is Justin Ard, 6'2", 245, a sophomore.
Right. Jeff, what their area, and they're taking these big boys and they're just blocking all down, just kind of stealing it and running straight ahead.
Third down and 2 for Marshall County. Ball at the Caldwell County 8-yard line. Double tight end set again. This is Corey English in there at fullback, and English should have enough for the first down. He's to the 5-yard line. It'll be close. Tackle made by Brian Kortner. And it is a first down. First down and goal for Marshall County from the Caldwell County 5.
Back and just let these big boys just push them back.
Jeremy Reed and Jared Morgan are the halfbacks. English stays in there at fullback. Reed gets the call coming around the right side. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall County. Jeremy Reed, 5-yard touchdown run, and Marshall County is on top 27-7.
Yeah, just like they jammed. Really was running off tackle. He just bounced it and ran off and ran to the flag in the end zone.
Davis will come on to attempt the extra point. Low snap, Reed able to handle it, and Davis has a beauty of a kick, splits the uprights, and Marshall County opens this one up. They lead at 28-7, 10-10 to play in the ball game. Back in a moment here on WCBL Sports.
It's credit not only the play selection, play calls, defense, and all, but again, Coach Shelton's been smart in his use of the field in the punting situation and all, and putting Caldwell where they are.
Send Davis wide to the left, but wide in the slot there. Vaughn and Fuqua are the setbacks. Childress is going to go to the air, looks to his right, back to his left. The pass is complete out in the left flat for Kelly Davis. Davis able to stay on his feet out close to the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Philip Ladd. Gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Backfield, he's running a little play action, screen passes, short passes, which is what I felt like he should have done the entire second half. Maybe it'd only be down 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Receivers to each side. Play action fake to Grooms, rolls out to the right. It's nearly picked off by Tony Bevel. Intended receiver was Craig Wyatt. Bevel nearly picked it off at the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, he's playing from his linebacker. He's in a linebacker, a strong safety, and he has a short 4th. And that was a very difficult pass that Childress tried to make. You have to throw it over the short man, and in front of the deep man, and drop it right in the hands of your receiver.
Receivers to each side. Davis to the left, Wyatt to the right. Pair of setbacks. Play action fake to Grooms, rolls out to his right, throws back to his left. It's complete for Grooms. Grooms is going to be wrapped up at the 30-yard line, though, so it'll bring up 4th down. Just barely got it back to the line of scrimmage before he's brought down by Kenny Pratt. Well, they're going to give him a couple of yards on the play. It'd still be 4th and about 3 here.
The home, because where, again, Marshall's taking over the ball, you could just about bet it. He'll get a score.
Wyatt wide to the right. Davis to the left. Pair of setbacks. Childress up under center with the long snap count. He's going to go to the air again, rolls out to his right. The pass complete for Grooms, but he is nailed at the 32-yard line. A big hit laid on him by Bobby Sanders. 8:20 to play in the ball game. 28-7. Marshall County with the lead. They're going to measure. He needed about 3. I don't know if he got it.
I tell you what, it's closer than when we thought. When the initial hit, I'm like you, I really felt like he was 2 to 3 yards short. But I'm not so sure, Jeff. This could be a lot closer than we think.
On the field to Jeremy Rose.
They're stretched out. We'll see what happens here, and it is well short. Well short. Over 2 yards short, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's the way initially that's what it looked like when he hit him. But again, you couldn't quite tell if maybe he fell forward because he fell in front of the players on the Marshall County side, and again, they normally don't call a measurement unless it's close.
Marshall County takes over on downs, leading 28-7.
A lot of fresh jerseys in there.
Rodney stays in at quarterback. Kenny Pratt gets the handoff here. Pratt's across the 30 to the 29-yard line before he's taken down by Billy Hooks. Marshall County also has in the backfield Brad Smith, 5'11", 175 pounds. He is a junior. Corey English in at fullback. Rodney into the huddle. Smith, the flanker to the left. They turn and give it to English. English straight up the gut. Just some hard running. Able to come across the 25, just inside the 25-yard line. Brought down by Jim Hayes.
Marshall County's in an enviable position. They've got the offensive line that's worn down, a tired defensive unit. Secondly, they've got some fresh people. They get a chance to let them get some experience. Thirdly, with the type of offense he's going to do, hand the ball off, you're going to run the clock out. Pat Gates will appreciate it because even if they score, they're not trying to shove it down the throat.
Rockney runs down the left side. He's going to hold on to it on the option. Rockney across the 20. Inside the 20, he went out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Knocking him out of bounds was Jim Hayes. It is good enough for a Marshall County first down. Their 5th first down of the second half, and for the night now, Marshall County with 10 first downs.
Well, I really was kind of hoping he would get Gary out of there, especially when he ran the ball that last time. He's a tough kid, but again, with the ball game and the position it's in, you certainly don't want to risk anything happening.
Mark Henson on to take his first snap of the year. Mark's a sophomore. Turns and gives it to English. English off left tackle. Some more hard running. Down to the 12-yard line. Zach Barnes brings him down. Check that. That's Jacob Reed who got the carry. Or was it? I thought it was English. All right, it's Jacob Reed. Beg your pardon. Henson still in at quarterback. That was a pickup of 6, by the way. 2nd down and 4. It's Jacob Reed again, off right tackle on this play. Maybe got a yard, maybe a little more than that. Ball just inside the 11-yard line. Marshall County leads this one 28-7. 3rd down coming up here. Marshall County just wants to keep it on the ground, wind the clock down. We're nearing the 6-minute mark of the ball game. Caldwell County had the early lead, 7-0, but since then, 28 unanswered by the Marshalls. Henson up under center. Henson runs down the line. He's going to hold on to it on the option. Somebody had him by the jersey, but he's able to stay on his feet. Henson with some hard running. He's hard to bring down. Gets it down close to the 5-yard line before he's brought down by Craig Wyatt. 1st and goal for the Marshalls. Marshall County will get a couple of new players in there. Saw Dustin Hodges check into the ball game there. Teckenbrock comes out. Out of the wishbone, double tight end set, 1st and goal for the Marshalls. The carry is by Kenny Pratt. He fumbles the ball. I believe Caldwell County got on it at about the 7-yard line. He got a hit. He got a hit right in the ball. And Caldwell County, so Marshall County got back on it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see who got back on it, though.
I didn't. I'm like you, Jeff. I thought it was.
Well, it was the ball carrier. It was Pratt. Chris tells me it was Pratt, the ball carrier. I looked at first that Caldwell County had recovered it. Henson turns and gives it to Smith, and Smith wrapped up back near the 10-yard line. That'll be a loss, a couple of yards. All just inside the 10. Chris Gray makes the stop.
Well, actually, obviously score is not that. And take all the snaps you want in practice, but it's different going out there in the middle of the field with thousands of people watching you under the lights.
Dustin Keys in at one of the halfbacks for Marshall County. Now Corey English in there. Henson is going to go to the air. No, he won't. He's wrapped up for a sack. There's a play-action fake. Jason Fawn got back there to him. Close to the 20-yard line. Marshall County bringing Locke on.
They're going to try a field goal from here. And again, this is good experience because he's not had one. And it's not trying to pile of points on. It's simply, learning to kick under the pressure of a game. It's good practice for the kickers, for the kicking team.
This will be a 34-yard attempt. for Justin Locke. Reed is the holder, Jeremy Reed the holder. Good snap, and it's blocked. I didn't see who blocked it, but the Marshall County holder, Reed, picked it up at the 24-yard line. Zach Barnes, the man. 3 minutes to play in this one. Marshall County 28, Caldwell County 7. Receivers to each side. Pair of setbacks for Caldwell County. Childress loses the ball back there, and now it's recovered by Marshall County. I didn't see what happened. It looked like a bad exchange.
Just a bad exchange. It was. He wasn't hit. Somebody went the wrong way, whether it was quarterback turned to the left or the fullback went to the right or what.
So is Dr. Forte. Looks like a foot injury. A foot in the left injury. We're going to see what it is. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on out there at the present time, but we're going to get on it just as quick as we can. It is Justin Eves down, and they are calling a timeout for both teams over here, talking respectively to their ball clubs. And as soon as we get a word, we will send it back to you.
I think it's just cramps, Jeff. Their way they're looking at it, they're bending his feet back. That normally looks like cramps.
2:55 left in the game. Marshall County 28, Caldwell County 7. We are back in
Aurora.
It was Justin Eves coming off the field there, and we'll try to get an injury report as soon as we can. Mark Henson still in at quarterback for Marshall County. An off right tackle play came to Paul Holt in at running back for Marshall County.
Jeff,
no gain on the play.
Interesting side note, has nothing to do with the game, but I'm just curious, right down to my left, about 4 seats down, is Mark Henson's mother and father. And when they get ready to snap, she puts her hands up over her ears and her hands, her thumbs in her ears and her hands over her eyes. She doesn't watch at all when he takes the snap from the center.
He goes up under center again. Turns and pitches to Brad Smith. Smith off left tackle across the 20 to the 15. Got inside the 15-yard line before he's brought down by Jodan Talley. It'll bring up third down for Marshall County. Third and four coming up here. Henson up under center. It's a pitch back on the right side. It's Aaron Edwards getting the call and trying to come around the right end. Not much there. Zach Barnes makes the tackle.
1 yard loss on the play. 4th and 4.
Fourth and 4 coming up here. Clock continues to move down close to the 1 minute mark. It's been a matter of great defense.
Chart, but I would say Caldwell's best beginning was about the 32-yard line.
4th and 4 here. Under a minute to play in the ball game. Henson holds on to it on the option. Henson cuts back on the inside. Henson is into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall County. 15-yard touchdown run for Mark Henson. And Marshall County leads this one 34-7.
Little option play. Nice play by the sophomore. Came down left, stuck the ball in the left halfback's stomach, pulled it out as they hit him. It took about 2 steps cutting and did a little bit of open field running and ran right in the end zone. Nice play.
Locke on to attempt the extra point. The kick is good, and Marshall County leads this one 35-7 with 46.8 seconds to play in the ball game. Back for the kickoff in just a moment here on WCBL Sports.
Gray's Fast Lube in Draffordville is now a Napa Auto Care 2. Owned and operated by Gary and Phyllis Henson. Open Tuesday through Sunday. The Country Crossroads in Hardin.
We received word that final score from St. Louis tonight, Reds 3, Cardinals 2. Mark McGuire goes homerless tonight in the game against the Reds. We'll have the Cardinals on the air on AM 1290 WCBL tomorrow at noon as they continue their series with the Reds. Locke with a deep kickoff. Really got a good foot into it, taken by Jodan Talley at the 5-yard line. And he's going to be brought down at the 6. Kind of ran backwards a little bit, brought down by Aaron Edwards. I said it was Jodan Talley. That was incorrect. it was Daniel Kortner. Kortner, 5'4", 120 pounds, a freshman.
You don't run sideways. Very seldom do you ever outrun those big boys. The best thing to do is run north and south. Don't run east and west.
On the field to Jeremy Rose.
Well, talking about injury a while ago to Justin Eves, he is okay. It was cramps. No injuries for Marshall County after this one tonight, and they've come away with a nice victory, to say the least. And that kid looked like about an 8th grader out there.
Actually a freshman. But you're pretty close. 25 seconds left in this one. Caldwell County will have time to run one more play. 35-7, Marshall County with a big victory here tonight as they get set to take the long road trip to Owensboro for their first district game of the year next week. Tally in at quarterback. And a straight handoff up the middle. That's going to be the final play of the game. No gain on the play. Marshall County wins this one tonight, 35-7 over Caldwell County. We're back in just a moment here on WCBL Sports.
If back-to-school expenses have put a dent in your family's budget, call Heights Finance Corporation of Murray at 759-0310. At Heights Finance, they understand that back-to-school time brings extra expense and extra stress, and they're ready to help. In fact, anytime you need some extra cash, call Heights Finance. You'll get a fast answer on your loan application of $300 or more. Most loan decisions made in an hour. Come by the Dixieland Center in Murray or call 759-0310 for Heights Finance Corporation, where former bankrupts are welcome.
For home-style cooking at reasonable prices, come to the Picket Fence East 12th in Benton. Picket Fence is now owned and operated by Paul and Jan Nixon. Enjoy Picket Fence plate lunch, meat and 3 vegetables for $4.25. Choose from 5 meats, including barbecue, roast beef, and brisket. Picket Fence also
tonight win it over Caldwell County by a final of 35-7. Coach Jim Shelton meeting with his team near the 20-yard line.
Please come back.
And just as soon as he breaks away from that team meeting, we will get a comment from him. Jeremy Rose standing by to do that in just a moment. Larry, some final thoughts about this one?
Well, it went pretty much the second half, honestly, the way that I thought it would. The only thing, I guess, our entire game, I felt like Coach Shelton called a good ball game. I think he was going to be a little bit upset. They're going to have certainly something to work on the stunts and the defense. If there's anything that I think he would feel like that they didn't accomplish well, they didn't pick up the inside stunts. However, he went to the outside game. He went away from what they were doing, and it worked. I felt like Pat Gates did an excellent job. He did what he thought he could do or try to do. Maybe that he pushed it a little bit after that initial score. They got down 14-7 and tried to force it, and he was backed up in the territory, and he never came out. But a great defensive effort and offensive effort.
Jeremy Rose standing by with victorious head coach Jim Shelton. Jeremy?
Standing by here with Coach Jim Shelton. Rocky first half, and he's just told me you weren't too happy with him, but you have to be down.
Well, you know, I think a lot of that had to do with the way Caldwell County came out and played. I think they controlled the line of scrimmage. They were very motivated. Their kids played extremely hard. They were whipping us up front. There's no doubt about it. They had a good game plan. I think we wore them down a little bit. You know, we made some plays. You know, not we got some breaks, but, you know, an interception by Bobby Sanders there runs it all the way back. So, you know, we made some big plays. But, you know, my hat goes off to Caldwell County. But our kids came back. We had 24 minutes in the second half, and we really played hard that second half.
Now the preseason is over. It's time to really buckle down and get down to business.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get a chance to play an 11th game, you got to win your district game. So, you know, that's we've got our future in front of us. We've got 2 district games coming up, and we've got to, you know, be as well prepared as possible.
I believe Larry Krause has a word or two for you.
You had trouble with most of the night, like you said, until you wore them down with their linebackers. They were coming everywhere. It seemed like your line couldn't pick up their stunts. Well, you know, a lot of that has to do with, you know, I don't think we got off the ball as well as we should have, but, you know, with the Grooms kid, number 24, the Fuqua kid, 34, and then the fullback in there, number 44, you know, their 3 best athletes were right there at linebacker, and boy, they were putting the pressure on us. They knew they had to take some chances. They couldn't sit back and just play, you know, read defense. They had to come after us, and they did.
Coach?
Well, to me, I thought if we're going with your quick passes outside and getting away from it and trying to go outside, which again was what you had to do because he said they were clogging your inside up. Yeah, you know, they had to make us beat them with the pass, and of course, you know, we hit that quick out to Bobby there. You know, Gary did a good job. Loosened them up a little bit, but, you know, when they're jamming about, you know, 10 or 11 people up there, you got to loosen them up. So we were able to do that. So, you know, I think that's a big key to the ball game.
Well, Coach, we'll talk more with you tomorrow morning. Know you want to go celebrate, so have some fun tonight, and we'll see you in the morning.
Thank you.
Coach Jim Shump of the County Marshals. They run their record of 2-1 on the season. We'll join him tomorrow morning at 10:05 from Keeley's Cafe in Gilbertsville. We have a report that Gerald Fuqua has left the field in a walking air cast on his right leg. Going to try to get to the bottom of that, see what I can find out. And as soon as I do, I'll report to you guys.
Okay, Jeremy. Certainly hope that he's okay, and he's been such a... It seems like he's been playing for longer than 4 years because you remember 3 years ago he had his breakout game against us over at Princeton.
Exactly, and he didn't really have a good game. It's unfortunate in a way other than the long run, but that wasn't, that was just sheer speed. That really wasn't his ability. As you say, we saw him do some things with the football that really that we saw Bobby Sanders do tonight. Bobby doesn't have near the speed that Fuqua did, but that cutting ability, he showed a lot of that tonight and was very impressed with his ball game. In fact, as you said, if there was the most valuable player, he probably would be it. But the biggest thing is, as Jim said, they did what they had to do. They knew that that they had the ability. Caldwell County did what they had to do. It just didn't work out, and as I felt like from the start, if we went into the fourth quarter even, we'd wear them down because of the size and the strength that we had, and that's what happened.
A little bit surprised in the first half, as Coach Shelton alluded to. They whipped us several times on the line in the first half, Tinsley especially.
Exactly. Yeah, they did. As he said, well, as Jimmy was saying, and we were talking about first, when they're coming up there and they're playing aggressive ball and they're stunting left, stunting right, we weren't coming off the ball. We were waiting. In fact, I would allude, and I think Jimmy would say, that also caused us to jump. In other words, not being sure where you're going, not getting off the line, and you're sitting and you're timid. All of a sudden you bark and you say, oh, and you move. And so really it was a credit to, again, the Caldwell defense at not only taking over the line of scrimmage, but causing us to jump and cause fumbles, disrupt the offensive play. So they did what they had to do. Again, it's just that we pretty much wore them down, and we did what we had to do, and that's good for an offense.
Jeremy's trying to find out about the injury to Fuqua, and again, we send along our best. We hate to see a talent like that suffer from injury that keeps him maybe not playing, but at least not at 100%. And he has been kind of saddled with that knee injury since that preseason scrimmage. We hope he's okay. Jeremy may have another word on that.
Talking with the coaching staff of Caldwell County, and he has a strain in his medial collateral ligament on his right leg, and they don't know if it's really mental or physical at this point, but that really cut him down tonight in his performance. And I think that's probably what most of it is, but he does have a strain in that ligament.
All right, Jeremy, appreciate that report very much. The final again here tonight, Marshall County 35, Caldwell County 7. Back with the final numbers on this.
Distance printing, there's only one number to call.
Back here at trailer.
I kind of missed it. You're going to have to do it again. Yep.
And the count stays even at 2. That's the hit from Uncle Bosco. And a hit from Oscar, Kentucky. Lucky Zambra. All down through the Paducah area. Ricky Wallace has a big bunch here. Enjoying the game. 2-2 delivery. Is coming again. Swinging a line drive right at the shortstop out there. And we slugged it just before it went to the ground. And they just hit the one out. Otherwise, they'd have a double play for sure. And that gives Grace a chance to back with supposed to hold back. A lot of hitting room on the right side. With the left-handed swinging first baseman off the plate.
Hey, Tony, turn around.
Okay.
Throw down there from McGuire. Get
I know, but that's almost saying he's going to put it on you now.
Cardinals still need 2 left.
Hey, Frank,
Yeah.
did you know Budweiser's the official beer of Major League Baseball?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be nice if we sang a little song.
Yeah, good idea. I'm ready.
Just follow my lead.
I'm with
Hey,
you.
sir, you ready over there? Hey, this for the home team.
If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's at the old ball game.
Yeah, I was gonna love the voice. Hey, one more time.
Yeah.
Hey, me,
Hey, Sitka.
Ron has 22 home runs.